What's going on with the Marcia Ball band?
Well, the most recent record we have out, or I have out, came out in October, last October. Wow, almost a year. And it was the record that I made with Angela Straley and Lou Park. And for about the last 2 years, I've been traveling and working quite a bit and kind of stalling on making a record. Time seems to fly by. And so what I intend to do, starting after this trip that I'm on right now, is to spend more time at home and go ahead and finish writing the material that I'm trying to gather up for a new record and then record one.
So now this record is, I heard references on your machine to the Girls, is that it?
Yes.
Well, tell me about that project.
Well, we took about 5 years to do a record that we had wanted to do for a lot longer than that, I guess, or a project that came finally to light. Angela and Luann and I had worked side by side for years and finally got an opportunity to sing together, and then as an outgrowth of that, to record what we were singing. And Dr. John was the original producer on the project, I guess the first 2 or 3 sessions, and then we decided we wanted to do something else, and we'd go ahead and record again, and then we just kept on and kept on until we had this record, and it's gotten really good response. We've had a wonderful time. It's called Dreams Come True, and it's on Antones, which is our awesome label, club, record store, and record label.
And what do you guys do? Take turns, or do you do numbers together, or what?
Some of both. We do duets. We do songs in which one of us sings the body of the song and the other sing background vocals, and we do some that we all sing together, swapping verses and doing choruses together.
So is recording not a favorite thing of yours?
I don't consciously shun it, but at the same time, I don't rush into the studio. It always seems like such a big deal.
So playing live is the thing then?
Definitely the thing I find the easiest and I do the most.
And what does that do for you?
I think I'm hammy enough that I don't do a short show when I can do a long one. We just go around. I think I like the instant gratification of live shows.
What do you think are the elements to your show? Why do people get off?
We we have an energy. I think that, and I've been told that none of my records capture the energy that we ever have live, and I think that's true of a lot of groups, but it definitely holds true of us. We are a very danceable band, and that comes across. People hopefully are infected with the urge to dance, and I just like looking at the audience and feeling their energy come back to me, so that's real important, and I feel like we just have a symbiotic relationship that works for me.
So basically, do you get off when you're
Yes.
playing?
Oh, yes.
Would you call your music blues? Of course, you're going to be in Boulder for this blues festival.
I call it rhythm and blues, and that's in the old-fashioned sense. Rhythm and blues, as the definition has changed over the years, but I still think of it as the old-fashioned R&B, like the New Orleans style, pre-soul music R&B.
And what does that mean?
Well, it means Fats Domino, and it means I'm thinking here who it would mean to anybody else. It means Laverne Baker, rather than Anita Baker.
Kind of like boogie woogie and blues put together?
Yeah, there's some of that too. Yeah, I always say the emphasis is on the rhythm rather than the blues. And there's elements of other things. There's elements of some Cajun and Zydeco in there, and a little bit of all the influences that I grew up with on the Gulf Coast of Louisiana.
And what about the Texas part? Now, where are you basically based?
I live in Austin. Lived there for a long time, but I grew up on the state line of Texas and Louisiana, on the Louisiana side. And you really can't draw a line down that border that musically separates Cajuns from country or something, and country from blues or rock from anything else. That part of the country was very fertile musically, and Janice was from there, and Johnny and Edgar Winter are from there, and George Jones is from there, and Lefty Frizzell, and the Big Bopper, and Lazy Lester, and Gatemouth Brown, and Cookie and the Cupcakes, and
just a wealth of music. Huh?
Oh, tremendous part of the country for musical influence. Plus, we got all Clifton Chenier and Katie Webster.
Where did your music come from then? What got you into performing? I mean, one of my perspectives is you're one of the few females in a basically male-dominated field.
Well, there are a lot more of us now than there used to be. We're out there definitely. But I started out, my grandmother played the piano, and my aunt played the piano, and there was a little bit of show business in that side of the family, and also just when people got together, people played music. And so I always played piano. They had me in lessons when I was real young, and I grew up playing the piano, but I went to college in Baton Rouge at LSU and met musicians there, and that's when I got in a band, and that's when I really started performing out.
So when you were first learning, was that like, I wouldn't say classical, but more like folk stuff on the piano? Or
well, it was kiddie classicals on the piano, and the first lessons that you get. But I also had the influence of the piano players in my family who played. My grandmother played ragtime, and my aunt played popular music, so I had other stuff to listen to and other influences, piano influences.
So playing music for people and with people was always there for you then?
Yeah, always natural and always, in a popular sense. I think that there was that time in America or in the world when more people played the piano. You made your own entertainment. And when people got together, a lot of people could play popular music on the piano. And that's how the party would go. And I grew up with two different generations of women who did that.
What do you think about our day and age now, when we're just over inundated with MTV and radios and records and CDs, all that stuff?
I think it's true. I think it's a true point that we're just inundated. We're over modulated. We have so much music, and same also can be said of, I think, of book publishing. It's just mind-boggling how many books there are. They come out every day to read, and how many records come out every day. And it was Angela that made the point that until the Beatles came out, music was a select pursuit. Not everybody was into music. And after the Beatles and our generation, everybody's into some kind of music. It's just a accepted thing. You don't maybe like the same kind of music, but everybody likes some kind of music, and everybody buys it, and everybody listens to it.
It's almost like a badge of personality. Mm-hmm. So what kind of folks enjoy your music? Can you characterize that?
We get kind of a mixed crowd. The core of our crowd are people more like us. They're people in their 30s and 40s who've liked music since they were kids and grew up with soul music, grew up in some cases with exactly this kind of music that we're playing, and are still hopping, still go out and have a good time, despite the fact that they're married and have kids and everything else. They still want to go out and have a good time. So I would say that's our core. It's not a youngish crowd. It's a 25 to whenever crowd. And then we have our others. We have our college kids. We have kids, people that come out that are a little fed up with programmed music, with artificial music, and they come out to hear real music, which is another way I describe what we do. And
well, what makes it real?
Well, it just definitely is. There's not although I play an electric piano, that's no synthetic thing about the whole organization. There's no, I guess I could only contrast it with what's not real, with the synthesizer beat, the sounds that can only be made by a machine that invades so much recording these days. I wondered sometime about some of those records. I wonder when the recording process is underway, does the singer sing first, or do they put all that ricky-tacky stuff in there first? And then do they sing in the middle of all that?
When you guys play, of course, it's a big band effort. It's person on person, instrument on instrument.
That's right.
One big
Lordy.
hullabaloo. So where are you calling
I'd be so
from?
much more brilliant if I'd had my coffee.
Where are you calling from?
Arcata, California, on the edge of Eureka, in Humboldt County. Most beautiful, beautiful place. Actually, I came here years ago. I broke down here one time on my honeymoon. But I don't remember much about that. This has been such a beautiful trip. We came up through the redwoods. Oh, man.
Yeah, you can't beat those big brothers in the forest there.
They will speak to you.
Yeah.
It's really special. I mean, we just pulled off the road and walked around right in a little grove right on the edge of the road, and they will make you aware of another reality.
Would you call your music regionally based, or do you ever get out to the East Coast? Do you ever go over to Europe?
We're all over. We play 180 dates a year, and we didn't play that many of them in Texas or Louisiana this last year. So I've been to Mexico and Alaska and Canada and Europe, and we've covered the country this year. We played from Seattle to Tampa and from Portland, Maine to San Diego.
And what's your reaction like out in Europe? I understand that's a hot place for American musicians.
Yeah, it really is. They have a strong following for blues and R&B in Western Europe. I mean, especially Scandinavia, for one thing, is really powerful. And we played in Switzerland, and we played in Holland and Belgium. And it's been great.
Plans for the future?
Well, I hope to get this record made, going home and playing mostly weekends through the winter. Try to get some time with my piano, just focus my piano and my family, and get my songs ready. I feel like a good week sitting down with the piano, and I would be ready to record. I've got a lot of good material, but I don't have the originals that I want yet, and so I need to go ahead and refine that.
So what kind of things do you have already?
Oh, an interesting little collection of obscure R&B that some of which I've been doing for quite a while, and some of which I just have been finding the last few months.
And then you'll do some original stuff.
Right. I've got some things to choose from. Songs written by friends again, which is always fun. I've got a couple of songs by Duke Robillard that I like a lot, and one by Johnny Nicholas that I want to do.
So what was your most recent solo album?
That was the Gator Rhythms album, which has been out for 4 years now. Time just has flown by. I wouldn't have thought I'd let this much time go by without a record, but I've been working.
So you don't necessarily feel motivated to be in the studio then?
No, it's almost as if it's a whole other area that like I said, I avoided a little bit, but also I work at gigs, and so that's a whole other thing that it requires a certain amount of record company negotiation and just woodshedding, and it's really easy to just keep on the road grind and not deal with the arrangement and the paperwork and the individual the organizational things that were involved in doing a studio project.
Yeah, the accountants, basically.
Yeah, in that way, too. Yeah. Gathering up the musicians, too, deciding what to do. Oh, and then it's so definite, it's so, it's there. Once it's done, it's done.
Then you would probably say that the road is your first love, then, eh?
Yeah, I'm afraid it is.